Hello and welcome again to another episode of the Long Gone Loser Rock Show. Today, this is going to be the beginning of probably a longer series of videos that I'm going to do because we're going to talk about Japanese garage rock. What's it? I got introduced to garage rock and roll through the Spiral Objective mail order catalogue when, because of my fascination of Jay Mansfield, I ended up buying this single, which was the 5678's doing I Walk Like Jay Mansfield. As soon as I saw it in the catalogue, I knew I needed it. And I bought it and ended up falling in love with it right away. And that started my journey into the whole world of Japanese garage rock and roll. From there, it took off. I mean, I ended up buying a bunch of singles by the 5678s because they're all awesome, and I love this band a lot, and I've seen them numerous times. And as we go through these records here, I got this one signed actually just before lockdown because I came to Australia with Guitar Wolf and did a show at the Tote. And so I took this along to get them to sign. This is the Go pressing that was licensed by Time Bomb Records. As you can see, it's got the Go logo there and the Time Bomb Records there. I got this one signed as well. Such an awesome band. There's this one, Best Of, which I picked up in 2019 from Time Bomb Records. I went there and so many people were telling me I have to go to Time Bomb Records and check this place out. So I did, and I was blown away. I bought a lot of records that day. So there you go. This one's limited. 185 of 500. So very cool. This cool EP, Pinhill Stomp. Tanuki Gotten, I think is how I pronounce it. I'm not really sure. I finally got this one. I'd been looking for it and I found it in Japan in 2019 when I went. And obviously there's this one too, which is the Bomb the Rocks singles collection, which is a double LP filled with singles and B-sides and stuff like that. So that is awesome. I love the 5678s, and like I said, I will forever be thankful for the fact that they were the band that sent me down the rabbit hole of Japanese garage rock and roll. years went on, I started discovering tons and tons of Japanese bands. I mean, you know, I'm talking about Teen Generate, I'm talking about Firestarter, I'm talking about The Radios. Super Snaz were another band I absolutely loved. Guitar Wolf, obviously, we all love Guitar Wolf, they're just amazing. You know, Banana Erectors, you know, Puffy, the list goes on and on. I just love all this Japanese music. My friend Kai in Japan would always hook me up with DVDs where he would record live performances of Guitar Wolf. Well, before that, he was sending me VHS tapes, you know, of live performances of all this Japanese rock and roll, and he would just send me stuff, and I've got countless DVDs, DVD-Rs I should say, of performances of these kick-ass garage rock and roll bands just that he had given to me. So I became obsessed with garage rock and roll and Japan. I've always been interested in Japan. It wasn't until I went there the first time in 2002 when I realized how much I loved Japan, and there was a big deeper hole that I needed to go into to find more and more garage rock and roll bands. You know, I'm talking about some of the coolest shit that I've seen in Japan. And, you know, there are bands that aren't like a household name when it comes to Japanese garage rock, but there was just so much good stuff there. I remember seeing a band called the Johnson & Johnson that just totally blew my mind. That was so good. There's a band there called the Satins. Now, the Satins play like the Halloween Ball every year, and they only play for like 4 or 5 minutes. They do 2 songs, and they're like, that's their set. So that's what you get. And it blew my mind when I saw them the first time. The Mad 3 were another band that I became really fixated on. They were such an awesome band. They're still going, and they're still putting out great records. Really cool, like 70s punk inspired garage rock and roll with lots and lots of guitar solos. A lot of it is instrumental, but damn, they're good. When you get there, if you haven't been, and you go to like Disc Union and go into the J-Rock section and just look at all the cool Japanese garage rock and roll, you will find yourself shelling out tons of big bucks for these records because they're awesome. There is just so much good stuff there. Like, there really is. Jackie and the Cedrics, I remember they came to Melbourne one time, and the bass player of Jackie and the Cedrics is none other than Mr. Rock and Jelly Bean himself. So that's awesome. But 2011 still stands out to me as one of the best trips I ever had of Japan. I went there, you know, with some friends from Germany. We met in Japan to go record shopping, and the Halloween Ball was on, and you know, the Rip-Offs were headlining the Halloween Ball. The Rip-Offs are awesome, and if you don't know the Rip-Offs, I highly suggest you rectify that immediately. But this trip to Japan was like eye-opening on so many levels. Okay, so I want to introduce you to one of the bands that I saw at the 2011 Back from the Grave Halloween Ball. This band blew my mind. I'd never heard of this band before, but you know, when I'm at these Halloween balls, there are so many bands that I don't know, like newer bands that I just have to check out. Now, while I was there, I discovered a band called Number 2. These are 2 of their records. This 7-inch is absolutely killer. I can't rave to you about how good this is, but if you can see it or find it, jump on a Bandcamp, buy yourself a copy of this. This is absolutely phenomenal. It doesn't end there though. There's also the album Know Your Rights. This band is just so damn good. I really can't rave about this band more than I am right now, because this is essential stuff. You want to know what I'm talking about? This is a song that I recorded at the show that I saw them play, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. You're going to love this one. Check it out.
「
So that was the band number 2. Did you see the flip at the 1 minute mark of that video? Well, if not, go back and rewind and watch it again. But oh my God, this band just blew my mind. They were such high energy, kick-ass punk rock and roll, and the records are no different. They're just so good. So I highly recommend, if you've never heard the band number 2 from Japan, check them out. All right? Do yourself a favor. I do believe those records are on Bandcamp now, so you can pick them up from there. So yeah, I highly recommend you do that. I also saw Spike's solo band. Now, Spike is the singer of Super Snaz, or was the singer, I should say, of Super Snaz, one of my favorite garage punk rock and roll bands from Japan. Now, they released a bunch of cool records, and here's some LPs. Tomoko, the bassist from Super Snaz, went on to be in this awesome band called the Tweezers. Now, this record was released on Time Bomb Records, and you should get it because it's freaking awesome. I can't tell you how good this is without you hearing it first. So here's a little snippet of the opening track. That was the song Get That Girl by the Tweezers. It is off this awesome record. Now, I got to tell you something. So why are the Tweezers cool? Well, like I said, Tomoko from Super Snaz on bass, and Mr. Fifi himself from the band Firestarter, from the band Teen Generate. Yes, this awesome band Firestarter. If you've not heard this, you need this record too. This is their debut self-titled record, and it is an absolute killer. There's a back cover of them looking absolutely cool, and they're playing a nice Gibson Explorer there. Check out the awesome 2020 t-shirt he's wearing. So good. This album rules, and they do a killer cover of Do Anything You Want to Do by Eddie and the Hot Rods. So yeah, cool. But anyway, Spike was doing a solo show, and I was going to go. I've never seen Super Snaz, so of course I have to see Spike play. And here they are, kicking ass at the Halloween Ball in 2011. One of the other bands I saw there was the Jet Boys. Here's some singles. Cool Picture This there, released on Sympathy. And you've got this one released on Demolition Derby, and this one released on Black Lung. Now, the Jet Boys are notorious because they play naked. They started off in, dress-ups, as everybody did on this show. Everybody was dressed up in Halloween costumes. And, they just kicked ass. And, oh my God, such a good kick-ass rock and roll band. So one of the highlights of the show, obviously, was Guitar Wolf. Now, Guitar Wolf, they're a riot. I mean, if you've seen them live, you know that they're like one of the loudest bands ever, and they're pretty crazy. If the guitars start off in tune, if they go out of tune, that's just the way it is. You have to deal with it, and it doesn't get retuned. But they are the most rock and roll band you'll probably ever see in your life. Anyway, so Guitar Wolf come out on stage, and they're wearing their rubber masks and whatever. Now, one of the funny things about it is that Seiji, aka Guitar Wolf, is known for wearing dark sunglasses. Whenever you see him, he never breaks kayfabe. And it just cracks me up every time I've seen him. He's always had the dark sunglasses on, and he came out on stage with a rubber mask on with the dark sunglasses on. Now, he couldn't see anything because somebody had to bring him out and put his hand on the microphone, and while he's singing, he's got the mic, he's got his hand on the mic up here, but the mouthpiece is here, and it's just a complete mess from start to finish. And then all of a sudden, I guess it just got too much for him, and he was just like, I got to take this mask off. He took the mask off, and he had his sunglasses on underneath. No wonder he couldn't see a single thing when he was on stage. But it was wild. It was an absolute riot, and it was such a good time. And finishing off the night there was the Rip-Offs. Now, the Rip-Offs, wow, I had never seen them, been into them for a long time, but had never been able to see them. But they came to Japan and I saw them play. And here's a song from them with special guest Seiji from Guitar Wolf on stage with them. Check it out. So there you go. That was my time in Japan in 2011, checking out Kick-Ass Garage Rock and Roll and buying a fuck ton of records. I highly recommend, if you get the chance to go to Japan and check out these bands, or just get a chance to check out Japan in general and go record shopping there, do yourself a favor. It is known as the Mecca of record buying. Like, I don't know how so many cool records ended up in Japan, but they did. And, you know, if you go digging hard enough, you will find kick-ass gems that you will never see in any other corner of the world, but they're right there in Japan. And that's why I love going there. So this October, the Halloween Ball is on again. Nikki and the Corvettes, I believe, is probably headlining it. So that sounds exciting to me. So I've never seen Nikki and the Corvettes. Well, it's Nikki and the Tokyo Corvettes, I should say. But that will be cool to see as well. So I'll be stoked to see that show. I'm sure all the other heavy hitters will be there. The Stompin' Riff Raffs, 5678's, Guitar Wolf, Jet Boys, the Radios, hopefully, another great band. How cool would it be if Teen Generate got back together and did a show? I'd love to see Firestarter live. I've never seen them live. But yeah, there's just so much to see there. My time in Japan in 2011, like I said, was one of the greatest times of my life. I got to hang out with Jeff Burke, who is from the band Radioactivity, but he was also in the Marked Men, he was also in the Reds, he was also in, what are they called, Lost Balloons, he was in, oh god, the dude has been in, 50 bands or so, you know who he is, but he spent some time in Japan. Now the Germans that I was hanging out with, they knew him very well, and so they said, hey, we're going to go out to Mitu and stay with Jeff Burke from the Marked Men, and I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. I didn't know the guy, but I went out there. Loveliest dude ever. We hung out at his house. He invited friends over. We just sat around listening to records, watching his friends dance to these records, or YouTube channel or whatever it was. We were just having a good time, and he was introducing us to a bunch of great records. When he did this for me, he gifted me this record. I really don't know why he gifted me this record, but he did. And this is T-Generate, No Time, on the Dogmeat label. There we go. I don't know how many copies they did of this special limited edition repressing, but he gave it to me as a gift, being that I didn't actually own this 7-inch and that it was on an Australian label, and so he wanted me to have it. So thank you, Jeff Burke, for this. I still play it all the time. I love this record. So for those wondering, there's the back cover. You can hardly read what the song titles are on that. Like, it's a really weird print, but there you go. So I don't know if you couldn't work it out, it's Gonna Feel Alright and Tore Me Apart. So there we go. Awesome. Teen Generate, what a great band. So there we have it. That is my roundup of my time in Japan in 2011, and just my introduction to garage Japanese rock and roll. So I'm going to be doing more episodes on these because there is a ton more Japanese garage rock and roll records to get through. But I thought I would just, ease into it with this, and also tell you about the time I went to the Halloween Ball and encourage you to get out to the Halloween Ball every October in Japan. Do yourself a favor. You'll have the best time of your life, and you'll probably see your next favorite band like I did seeing Number 2. Take care, guys. Look after yourselves. Take care of each other, and go buy some records and get that ticket to Japan. Bye-bye.